Welcome back to Sci-Fi for Everyone, the channel where warp drives are optional, but good storytelling is mandatory. Firstly, my apologies for being a bit late with this review, but it's been a slightly busy time for me. To make up for it, I'm reviewing an entire series rather than a single book. I'm very excited about this one because it's one of my favorite recent releases. Without further ado, we're heading straight for The Divide. And no, not the one in Colorado. I'm talking about J.S. Dewes' space opera trilogy that combines military sci-fi, cosmic horror, found family vibes, and just a pinch of existential dread. In other words, delicious. Let's get into it. First up, The Last Watch. It's like the Night's Watch from Game of Thrones, but in space with less snow and more collapsing spacetime. Our hero is Cavalon Mercer, a smart-ass noble with a past who's been dumped at the literal edge of the universe for being a bit too clever for imperial politics. Alongside him is Adequan Rake, a badass ex-commander. Exactly how badass she is, you'll find out as the series progresses, but let's just say she could lead a squad through a black hole and still keep her coffee hot. Plot twist. The universe is shrinking. No big deal, right? Wrong. Dewes kicks off the trilogy with a wild premise. The edge of the universe, called the Divide, is collapsing, and only the Sentry soldiers exiled out there are close enough to notice. Of course, no one believes them, because what's a sci-fi trilogy without yelling into the void, literally? In the Exiled Fleet, we go full Mass Effect meets Battlestar Galactica. Our misfit team is stranded with one broken down starship, limited rations, and about 30,000 people who don't want to die in the cold vacuum of space. Honestly, it's like a really intense episode of Nailed It with warships and quantum physics instead of cake. And yes, there is a scene where people steal an entire battleship by hand, like manually. I won't spoil it, but let's just say NASA engineers would weep. By the Relentless Legion, all bets are off. The stakes are galactic, the past comes back to punch people in the face, and the emotional gut punches just keep coming. Characters evolve, betrayals hit hard, and you might even cry over a spaceship, or a robot, or both. So, what makes the Divide trilogy worth your TBR pile? First, it's punchy and fast paced. You don't need a PhD in astrophysics to keep up, but it still delivers enough space science chicanery to keep the nerds, hi, like me, very happy. It's got heart, tension, gallows humor, and characters that actually grow and break and mend again. Now, fair warning, sometimes the pacing goes zoom when it should go breathe, and a few side characters don't get quite as much love as they deserve. But honestly, these are really small gripes in an otherwise stellar journey. This is a worthy addition to your bookshelf, and once you've read the first book, you will rush out and buy the next two, guaranteed. Overall, very solid 4.5 stars out of 5, and an absolutely stunning debut by a new voice in military sci fi and general space operaticness. Yes, that's an actual word, you can Google it. Quick sidebar, who is this evil genius behind all this space madness? That would be J.S. Dewes, a screenwriter, filmmaker, and gamer turned novelist. She clearly loves a good action sequence, a deeply flawed character, and throwing them both into the most impossible situation imaginable. And her cinematic eye shows. These books feel like a Netflix series waiting to happen. Netflix, if you're listening, call her. She also wrote the For Now standalone military sci fi novel Rubicon, which ended on a cliffhanger and is crying out for follow up. I can only assume she's working on that. So now I hear you ask, I'm new to sci fi. How easy is it to read? Why should I bother? Well, on my 4 tier book difficulty rating scale, this trilogy would be a 2, breaking a light sweat. There are some space-time concepts and later on a couple of alien cultures to keep track of. So you'll be covering a bit more ground. It's smart, but still very reader friendly. And you should bother because the age-old concepts of human greed and power that corrupts stand front and center against flawed humans doing their utmost to save their species and others from complete annihilation. So if you love found family squads, impossible odds, and the kind of sci-fi that makes you ask big questions while dodging laser fire, then the Divide trilogy is for you. And hey, if you've already read it, drop your favorite quote or unhinged Cavalon moment in the comments and let's geek out together. Like, subscribe, and remember, in space, no one can hear you scream about character development. Catch you next time on Sci-Fi for Everyone.